Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we dive into one of the most shocking true crime stories of the internet age, the hunt for Luka Magnotta, a man who turned cruelty into spectacle and the internet into his audience. This isn't just a retelling of Netflix's Don't Fuck with Cats. Tonight you'll hear the full story in detail with the updates that came after the cameras stopped rolling. This is the unflinching horror of how one man went from killing kittens online to murdering a human being, all while taunting the world to catch him. A quick warning up front. I won't show graphic imagery or describe the worst details. That's not necessary to understand this story. What matters is how a community saw something monstrous on their screens and refused to look away, and how that refusal became both the engine of a manhunt and the oxygen for a narcissist. The spark. It began in 2010. A grainy, low-quality video appeared online. At first glance, it seemed innocuous. A man in a hoodie, sitting in a small apartment. But within moments, the horror revealed itself. Two kittens were placed into a vacuum-sealed bag, and the air was sucked out. The kittens suffocated on camera. The internet erupted. Outrage poured across forums and Facebook groups. Instead of turning away, people decided to fight back. A group formed. Find the kitten vacuumer for great justice. They dissected every second of the video. A wolf pattern blanket, a vacuum cleaner brand, Marlboro Golds, electrical outlets. The group began narrowing the location. North America, likely Canada. At the time, they didn't know it, but they were chasing Luka Magnotta, born Eric Newman in 1982. A failed model, desperate for fame, he filled the internet with photos of himself, fake stories, and a self-made Wikipedia page. When fame didn't come, he decided infamy would do. The sleuths included Deanna Thompson and John Green. Together with hundreds of others, they became digital detectives. They weren't law enforcement, but they had time, obsession, and determination. And Magnotta noticed. Soon, he began taunting them. The hunt. By 2011, the Facebook group had become an army. Members dissected screenshots, ran reverse image searches, debated details. Magnotta planted false clues, fake profiles, staged photos, and misleading accounts. He loved the attention. More videos surfaced. A snake devouring a kitten, staged scenes of cruelty. The sleuths realized these weren't random acts. They were rehearsals. And they repeated the mantra, "He won't stop with cats." Behind the camera, Magnotta grew bolder. He sent direct messages to sleuths, mocking them. He built personas that praised him, others that attacked him. A one-man ecosystem of attention. He wanted to be chased. Every detail, the vacuum, the cigarettes, the posters, were both clues and traps. The sleuths felt the dread. Escalation was coming. The murder, May 2012. Montreal, Canada. Jun Lin, a 33-year-old international student from Wuhan, China, vanished. He was kind, ambitious, and deeply loved. Soon, a new video appeared. One lunatic, one ice pick. It depicted Jun Lin's murder, staged, deliberate, and horrifying. Days later, packages arrived at Canadian political offices. One containing a foot, another a hand. In Montreal, police found a suitcase near Magnotta's apartment with more of Jun Lin's remains. By then, Magnotta had fled. The story exploded. Canadian psycho. Interpol issued a red notice. For the sleuths, it was devastating. They had predicted this, and now they wondered, had their attention fueled him? The capture. Magnotta fled to Paris, then across Europe. He stayed in cheap hotels, leaving behind magazines and clippings about himself. Interpol plastered his image worldwide. He couldn't resist reading about himself, obsessed with his own notoriety. June 4th, 2012. Berlin, Germany. In a small internet cafe, the owner noticed a familiar face. A customer was glued to articles about Luka Magnotta. Police stormed in. Magnotta was arrested while Googling himself. Even in capture, his vanity betrayed him. The horror spreads. The case exploded across Canadian and international media. Newspapers ran headlines about the Canadian Psycho, a nickname referencing the infamous novel American Psycho. Interpol issued a red notice. Airports across the world plastered his face across screens. The man the sleuths had hunted online was now the subject of one of the largest international manhunts in recent memory. For the online investigators, the horror was deeply personal. They had watched this unfold for years, warning anyone who would listen that the man behind the kitten videos would eventually kill a human being. Now, their prophecy had come true, and they were horrified not only by the murder, but by the role they feared they had played. By chasing him, had they fueled his ego? By giving him attention, had they become part of his performance? The aftermath. In 2014, Magnotta stood trial in Montreal. The evidence was overwhelming. He admitted to the killing but pleaded not guilty, citing schizophrenia. The jury rejected the defense. Guilty on all charges. Life in prison. No parole for 25 years. Behind bars, Magnotta kept chasing attention. He created a dating profile for inmates, later married another prisoner in 2017. His obsession with fame never died. In 2019, Netflix released Don't Fuck with Cats. The world debated again. Did the sleuths help catch him or feed his ego? Did the documentary warn the public or glorify the killer? For sleuths, guilt lingered. They had unmasked him, but also given him the attention he craved. The story became a cultural warning about the internet's double edge. It can expose monsters, but it can also create them, might. This concludes our deep dive into Luka Magnotta. It's a story about cruelty, obsession, and the dangers of fame in the digital age. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember, sometimes the scariest monsters are not hiding in the shadows. They're right there, glowing on the screen in front of us.